So you pulled Alure. You've heard she's good. You've heard she's awesome, especially on the Fire Knight. But why? Why is she good? How is she good? Today, we're going to find out just why she's a Fire Knight specialist and how you should build her and what stats you need to focus on so she can progress your account. So Alure's A1 attacks 3 times at random, decreases the target's turn meter by 25% on each critical hit. Not a chance to do it, it's just going to happen. Period. Thank you, ma'am. Come again. 25% chance on a 3-hit A1. You take her against the boss, the Fire Knights. We mentioned that. You've heard that. She is a beast against Fire Knights because she is. We're going to focus on the stats that you need later on in the video, but right now, this A1 is the gold. This is the money skill right here. This is why she is such a beast. Attacks 3 times at random. When you have only the boss, she's only going to target the boss. 3 hits on the boss, period, nothing else. No other chances for those random attacks to go anywhere. Decreases the target's turn meter by 25% on each critical hit, right? So that's a chance of decreasing the target's turn meter by 75%. The boss, the Fire Knight, you can control, manipulate his turn meter. This is the money skill. This is why she's so valuable in the Fire Knights. Her A2, however, is not too bad. Attacks all enemies, an AoE skill 2 times. Each hit has a 30% chance of placing a 30% decreased defense. It's the small version. Places sleep debuff for 1 turn on targets under a decreased defense debuff. So if you happen to actually pair her with another champion that decreases defense, not too bad. Pair together, throw a sleep on there, even though sleep is it's a meh debuff. The biggest thing, this is an AoE, throw some damage out. Her A3 attacks 1 enemy, has an extra 30% chance of inflicting a critical hit. Will ignore 50% of the target's defense. You're going to think this sounds pretty darn good. 50% of the target's defense, additional 30% chance to crit. That's not too bad. That's not too shabby, right? You're not going to use this in Fire Knight. This skill is absolutely wasted. A2 is practically wasted except for against the waves itself. Her aura increases ally accuracy in faction crypts by 50. I'm going to take her into Fire Knight 20 for you right now. And then after we get done with Fire Knight 20, we're going to talk about her build, the stats I think you should focus on, what I've got her in right now, and then we're going to get into her masteries. So I'll see you there. All right, we're back now. Fire Knight 20. We're at the boss because really, this is where Alure shines. No sense in watching you or showing you through the waves prior to, because the way, especially the way I've got this team built, my Alure is squishy. You can just see Cardinal just brought her back up because you know what? She's squishy. She dies through the waves. No sense in showing you that because that's just a spotlight on Cardinal rather than Alure because Cardinal keeps bringing her right back up. Right now, we want to get Alure doing A1s on the Fire Knight without a shield. And here we go. Look at that. 2 decreased turn meters. That's 50% decrease on the turn meter. Yes, I do have Tayrel in here with her as well. Paired together, the 2 of them is just enough turn meter decrease or turn meter manipulation to handle this Fire Knight, to keep his turn meter down almost all the time, to keep that shield down. Because if you can keep that shield down, he doesn't take a turn, right? Exactly. There you go again, another double decreased turn meter. I can't talk that, right? Another double decreased turn meter. That is 50% down. Oh, he did take a shield out. He did bring his shield back up. We didn't take care of it. So Alure actually did her AoE attack right there instead of her A1, which isn't too bad because I got enough other hits floating around on this team that we're going to be able to get rid of them, get rid of the 10 ticks off that shield. There's another double decreased turn meter. The way you work this, yes, Alure is the off affinity for this stage, right? She is blue. She is magic. Fire Knight is red, and force is strong versus magic, and magic is weak versus force. I got it. So the biggest thing that you have to worry about is 2 things. It's twofold. You have that 15% handicap on your crit meter, on your crit rate. So what that means is when you're attacking a off affinity from a champion or with a champion, you have to have a 115% crit rate to guarantee a crit hit. In addition to that, you also have a 33% chance of doing a weak hit. With all that said, you build enough crit rate on her. We'll get more in depth on the actual stats. You need to focus on her in just a few minutes here. But if you build enough crit rate to get that 115%, you're going to guarantee a crit whenever you don't weak hit. And you weak hit 1/3 of the time. That happened to hit twice. A weak hit was 2 times on that one right there. So she has a 3-hit A1, so that's a 1/3 chance of doing a weak hit. So the idea statistically, she's going to weak hit 1 time on each A1, which is pretty much the consistency of what's been happening. She's double decreased turn meters on this boss with 1 weak hit mixed in there. That's the way you like it. That's the way you got to work on it. It's a thing you got to take into consideration. So for me on my Fire Knights, in addition to the beast that Alure actually is, I brought in, she just did 3 turn meters, a triple decreased turn meter, 75% decrease. I like it. To pair up for an extra layer of consistency and reliability, I did bring Tayrel in there with his 1-hit decreased turn meter of 50% and that chance to stun. Yes, you can't stun the boss. However, this team works. Alure, she's not built for damage. That's not why she's there. She's there for that A1. So Alure, build. What should you do with her? How should you focus on her? And what stats should you put on your Alure? Crit rate, you need accuracy, and you need speed. Anything outside of those 3 stats, you almost don't need to worry about. With me, as you saw in the Fire Knights, I paired my Alure with Cardinal, so I could care less about her HP and her defense. She's at 22,000 and 1,400 defense and HP. For me, I could care less about what is going on with her endurance because I have Cardinal. Cardinal's there to pick her right back up when she's so squishy and she drops down on the team, right? I did focus on her crit rate. She has 113% crit rate. Her accuracy is 239. And her speed, what was her speed? Her speed is 179 speed. Honestly, I would actually like her speed to be a bit higher. Close to 200 is where you would like her. Make it a little more easy. However, my 179 works for my team. I have Seeker in there to speed up the turn meter, and I have Mashallah to increase her speed with a buff. Then I have Cardinal to take care of her squishiness. Alure is the specialist on this team, right? So she is there to decrease the turn meter. That's why she's on the team. I have actually built a team around her to support her to continue and progress me through that content. But I focus on crit rate, accuracy, and speed. Oh, why do you need accuracy? Because you need accuracy so that you can actually do the turn meter manipulation. If you don't have enough accuracy, it's going to be resisted. And you don't want a 3-hit A1 that has to crit against an off affinity champion with a 33% chance to do a weak hit to then all of a sudden get resisted. You'll ruin your team and you don't want to do that. So you need that accuracy in place. You need that accuracy there to actually make it happen. What's a general rule of thumb for accuracy against the boss, right? For every level of boss that you're fighting, you need at least 10 accuracy. So against a stage 20 Fire Knight, you need at least 200 accuracy. That's the way the general guideline works out against it. I got 239. I got enough. 239 is enough. As you can see, I don't think I ever got resisted with any of her attacks. Now, masteries. As you can see right now, I have 0 masteries going on. No masteries whatsoever. You don't need to scroll her. If you're going to use her for a purely Fire Knight specialist, like I'm doing with my Alure, you do not need to scroll her with anything whatsoever. 0 bucks, 0 bucks, 0 bucks. You do not need to book your Alure, and she can get the job done for you. Thank you for joining me through the video all the way through. I greatly appreciate your support. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Join the mission to create the most comprehensive library of champion guides that the Raid Shadow Legends community has ever seen and will ever see. And I'll see you on the next video. That's right there on the screen. Go ahead and click on it. I'll see you there.